Alright, welcome back to another daily recap. Today is June 18th, 2024, and today, just like yesterday, was an amazing day to be trading. So we're going to jump right into the charts and talk about exactly what happened. So, from the very beginning of the morning, this is the 4-hour chart, so all the candles are squished together, but you can see here, price opened up all the way up here. I had this 4-hour gap marked out from the beginning of the day. I said, hey, I am not that interested in a trade today unless it hits this 4-hour gap, which is my high time frame key level. So I was like, yeah, that's really what I need to see hit. Otherwise, I'm not that interested. So I just said, I'll just wait. I'll wait here as long as it takes. So didn't enter a trade all through here. 9:30 rolled around. I didn't like anything that I saw here. There was a hour order block or something. I wasn't that interested. I was mostly focused on the 4-hour gap because that's what I liked. And so if I pull this over, the crazy thing about this is price does this thing when it goes into gaps. It either does like one of three things. It's usually one of these three things. When it gets these high time frame gaps, it usually just barely goes and taps the gap and then displaces the other way. It goes to the midpoint and then displaces away, or it fills the gap and sometimes overfills it a little bit and then it moves in the opposite direction. And you can see today was a perfect example of price going directly to the midpoint of the gap. And so right around 11 a.m. Eastern, I was actually talking about it over here. I'm like, hey, if we can get to this gap around 11 a.m. Eastern, because if you don't know, 11 a.m. Eastern is really like the ideal time to have a reversal. So I was like, if we can see it hit this gap and get a reaction around 11 a.m. Eastern, that would be like 100% my ideal scenario. So I set that up here, and then price was moving around, and then we got it. Price went into the gap, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be patient. Saw price get this move out from the midpoint. I was like, wait, was that the midpoint? I measured it. It was the midpoint. I was like, sweet. So then I was like, okay, I am basically set to enter once I get either an inverse for value gap or a 1-minute break of structure. Now, there probably was a 30-second inverse for value gap in here. Did I want to take that? Not really, because I wasn't sure if price was going to want to come fill this whole gap. I thought that was a possibility. That didn't end up happening. But once you can see here that on this candle where we broke structure here, I entered here. Since it had such strong displacement, I can't remember if I entered early or not, but it was somewhere in this area. And when you get strong displacement like that, I generally consider it okay to enter a little early, but usually you wait till the candle close almost all the time. So entered there, and I just moved. I didn't have my stop at the low actually, because I just felt like it didn't need to be at the low. Like if it was gonna come down here, it's probably gonna run all the way back through. So I kept it right here, and then really, since this is a high time frame reversal, remember key time for reversal too at 11 a.m. I was anticipating essentially the data high to get taken out, and you'll notice that these are also pretty much relatively equal highs as well. So I was like, this is a strong draw on liquidity. I would say this is where I think price is gonna go. So I actually did enter this trade, and I entered right there. If I pull this up, so it was about a I probably entered a little higher then, because it was about a 5. It was about a 5. was about a 5.5 to 1. Was it what it would be if it was able to reach the highs, which by the end of the day it did not reach the highs, and so today would have been like a perfect day in my book had we finished and gone all the way to the data high by the end of PM. If we had done that, today would have been a totally amazing, beautiful day, like just as good as yesterday. But we didn't get that. Price didn't get up that far. I still think that will probably get hit, probably either sometime tonight in Asia session or sometime in London session tomorrow, or maybe in the morning in New York session. But I do think these highs will get hit soon. So very quality setup, very nice trade. If anyone took this, definitely say something in the comments below. Or if you took another trade that you really liked, share it in the comments below. But this is the trade that I entered, and I actually exited. I was thinking that it was possible that it could get the after hours pump. Did not happen, so I'm not holding past after hours, so I closed it around actually closed it around 410. So yeah, super quality trade. So I exited probably like over here. So yeah, sweet trade. I was very, very happy with that, and I actually did enter that. So very, very cool. A couple of things I wanted to mention that were just like super fascinating. In hindsight, I did not see this as it happened, but you know why we got this giant retracement in the middle of the day? It was because we reacted off of the midpoint of this data wick. Check that out. If I zoom in here, the top was the midpoint of this data wick, and that's called a consequent encroachment. Don't know why. I mean, I didn't make up the name. I just call it midpoint of a data wick if it was up to me. But that's actually the technical term. So consequent encroachment of the data wick. That was the high here. Pretty cool. And then as well, like today was a really good day. Like in general, like yesterday was probably like, I don't know if yesterday was better, but yesterday was probably better, but today was also just beautiful in general. Because check out what else happened, right? If I take the midpoint of this final move down from here to here, not from the candle body, it's just from wick to wick, you can see that was the low here. That was the low here. And what time was this at? So I haven't talked about this, I think, on the channel yet because I haven't done enough market reviews, but usually around 204 to 209, that's when you can expect respect a reversal going into a distribution phase. So usually you can expect that to be the start of the next big move. So 204 to 209. So manipulated right to the midpoint of this, right at around 204 to 209. And I mean, that on its own was an amazing trade too, because I mean, maybe you probably entered off 30-second inverse here, or maybe you entered on the 1 minute inverse. But either way, I mean, I do think that should have been a profitable trade, or at least a break even. So if you took that I feel like that would have been not bad. But yeah, same thing is like this is just like amazing day in general. Like midpoint of this 4-hour gap, consequent encroachment of the wick, and then midpoint of this final move down. Beautiful price action in general, and I was very happy with today. I think that's basically it. The main reason I didn't think the price was going to react off this order block, this 1-hour order block, I mean, it might have actually reacted off of it in the short term, but I was pretty sure that this 4-hour gap was it. Like if anything was going to hold price, it wasn't going to be this random 1-hour order block when there is a 4-hour gap like this underneath it. So I knew that this was the higher probability draw on liquidity, this gap. So I wasn't interested in this 1 hour order block because either one of these, because this is just so much stronger of a confluence. I'm not gonna waste my time with that, if that makes sense. So yeah, beautiful day today. Very happy with price action in general. This the only thing that I wish happened was I wish by the end of the day it took out these highs, but you know, it's probably going to take them out relatively soon. It's moving right now actually, so if I had to guess, it'd probably take them out actually in Asia, or yeah, if not Asia, then in London. But could I have stayed in the trade? You know, maybe, but I'm not that interested in holding through through to the next trading session, like to Asia. But in the future, you know, I might consider doing that if like enough of these trades work out where they usually hit the data high, they usually hit the equal highs. I definitely consider holding through, but for now I'm just like probably just fine with taking my profits at the end of the day. So in general, great day. Hopefully you found this video helpful or you learned something. Oh, one more thing. I don't know how relevant this is, but I was measuring fib levels for a little bit, and I found this kind of interesting. The fib level here from the candle bodies to the wick, this actually lined up perfectly with the midpoint of the fair value gap. I'm not saying I'd put a ton of weight into that, but you know, if you were already anticipating that being the level that it was going to react, if you already anticipated that it was going to be the midpoint of the fair value gap, then that red fib level would probably be like kind of nice to see. So very, very cool. I think that is it. I think that covers about everything for today. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.